News out is that South Africa is not a real country, because no country would have news such as this. This is the news that I must admit I did read and I looked at it twice and I thought, what the hell? This was the news headline that SA may risk losing access to airspace. Like, is that a thing? So I actually had a look at it and this is what I found. So underneath the Chicago Convention, signatories of the Chicago Convention are required, mandated to set up independent bodies to investigate civil aviation accidents or incidents. And South Africa has failed to do this. In fact, it's actually been contravening the standards set by the Chicago Convention and set by the International Civil Aviation Organization, the ICAO. Now, we continue to have non-compliance of this, which means that what we could have is that South African airliners would be denied access to the US and the EU, specifically their airspaces. So you couldn't get direct flights to the US or anywhere in the EU. Now that in itself would have significant restrictions on your freedom and my freedom of movement and would severely impact tourism and trade, of which the US and the EU are key partners of South Africa. Although one has to ask for how much longer, because the news that keeps coming out of South Africa, I don't know how long other countries are going to tolerate this. It's just my view. Let me know what you think in the comments. Well, anyway, the Department of Transport has recognized that this could potentially lead to devastating effects on tourism and trade if the airspace was lost. And they acknowledge that there is a degree of mitigation that needs to occur by setting up this independent aviation accident investigation body in line with their international obligations. And in typical fashion, the government is doing what the government is good at doing, nothing. And we saw this with grey listing. The suggestions that grey listing were coming to South Africa was covered by myself 6 months before South Africa was grey listed. These things do not happen quickly. They happen gradually, then quickly. And the reality is this has been happening for some time, and now the consequences of it are going to be felt. Our government is truly useless. But that's just my views. Let me know what you think in the comments.